Hi guys, this is Laura and I'm going to talk about how to build our cool big project in the November box of making. What we're making is this very cool geared lamp. You'll notice that we've got gears on the outside that spin, and you're going to get to put all of that all together. So I'm going to put it on the side and show you what's in the box to get you started. First, you've got a little bulb holder. You can put it aside till you're done with the decorating and ready to assemble, and a really pretty Edison bulb, and we'll get started with those once we're done with everything. So let's take a look what's in the package labeled geared lamp. When we open this package, we're going to have lots of wooden pieces. Be very careful, you don't want to lose anything. And what we've got in here is 3 little bags. One of them is the screws. We're going to set that aside. And one of them has got 4 little wooden circles and 8 little U's in it. We're also going to set those aside for right now. You don't have to decorate them at all. They're never seen. So then the last package has 4 gears on it. You are going to want to open that package up and decorate those gears. They're on the inside of the box, on the inside of these little pluses on the outside. So then let's look at what our big pieces of wood are. First thing you'll have is 2 squares that have circles on them that are the same size. They don't have any writing on them. The third piece says mid on it, and it looks exactly the same, except it's a little smaller hole than the other 2. And finally, we have this one with a circle with these 2 little cutouts on it. So these pieces are going to be underneath. You don't need to decorate them at all. You'll never see them. I'm going to set them aside as well. So finally, we can look at this in terms of the sets of pieces we need to actually build the project. And we're going to find 5 little pieces of wood that are about this size. One of them says Steamy Tech on it. That will be the bottom of your box. 3 of them have these little mandala shapes on them. 1, 2, 3, and you can use those decorate those however you want to. They're the bottom of our lamp. And finally, we have this piece with a little hole on it. This is going to be the back side of the lamp. You probably want to do some amount of decorating on it, but I didn't put a pattern on it because it'll be the back side. Then you should have 4 wheels. 1, 2, 3, 4. These are your geared wheels that you'll use for making the box. You'll have a lamp bottom that looks like this. This is going to allow us to set our light bulb in it and screw it all together. A light top that's this square. And then you should have 4 sides. These 4 sides will have no mounting holes on the top, but they will have mounting holes on the side and the bottom, and you'll see 1, 2, 3, 4 of these. If you're looking carefully, you'll notice that one of them is a little different. Instead of having a circle for a screw mount, it has a holder that'll allow us to mount a nut in it. So you'll see that differently. So that's the set of pieces. What you'll need to do next is sand them all. If you've got an orbital sander, you may want to use that since there's just so much to sand here. Or you can use the sandpaper we've included. Sanding will make a huge difference on how smoothly your lamp spins. So sand them for certain, and then we'd recommend decorating them however you want to, whether that's with Sharpies, with the metallic pins that we've included in this month's package, or with wood stain or something else to make them match with the other items in your home. We think this lamp is going to be something you love for a long time to come. So go ahead now and decorate all of the pieces. Notice that you can see the inside of these, so you'll want to make sure you decorate the inside of these and the inside of the lid. You're only going to see the top of this. You'll see both sides of the gears, and on these you'll only see the outside edge. The rest of them will be enclosed in a box. You might want to make the insides black just in case somebody peeks in the hole, but you certainly don't need to do anything extensive on the inside of the lamp base. Okay, go decorate, and we'll come back and put it all together. All right, now that you've finished decorating all your pieces, let's go ahead and start putting things together. The first pieces we're going to put together are your socket base, but we want to do that first by making sure we've got all of our hardware. So we'll open the box up, And it starts with a cute little set of feet. And then we need to go look at what else we have. We have 4 long 3/4 inch screws. We should have 24 3/8 inch screws. Those are the ones we'll use for all the box assembly here in a minute. And we should have 28 nuts. So 2 4 long screws all set to go. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24 of those, and 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 18, 20, 22, 24, 28, 28 of the nuts. So we're all set to go. If my count's off by 1 or 2, you've got lots of spare hardware to go. And so now we're all set to start building with our long screws. So the first thing we need to do is build the base, put the base together for the lamp to go in it. And we're going to do that by stacking first the 2 ones with big circles, then the one labeled mid. Notice how that's a little tiny bit smaller. And then last but not least, our bottom layer goes here. Now we could glue these all together, but we're going to use screws to put it together, so it shouldn't be a problem anyway. And those we're going to go underneath on the bottom side of your lamp base. So we'll put that screw through here and line it up to take it through all the rest of these. Getting the first one in is always the hardest. And then since I know I'm ready to put it together, I am just going to put a little dot of glue on this bottom nut, bottom screw, and put the first nut on. And these can be as tight as you want them to be. We're holding your lamp together with them, so tight is good. And then I'm going to put the other corner one in next. Again, I'm using a 3/4 inch screw, lining those up and gluing this nut on here, like so. Should give you a pretty good view of what I'm doing. And again, I'm going to make sure I tighten this up good and tight. Once those 2 are in, putting the other 2 together should be really easy. You probably want to try not to get your fingers too gluey yet, but always is going to happen. Just accept that you will have glue on your fingers when you're done with these projects. Acetone fingernail polish works to get it off, or you can do what we do and just wait and take it off in the shower the next morning, because it will be nice and dry, and then you get some water on it and it peels off nicely. Okay, there's my third one, and we'll get this 4th screw going here like so. Drop this in, put this through like this. And then we can put this last nut on. And tighten it down. And now we have built our lamp base. Okay, hang on and we'll put the lamp socket in next. Okay, now we're ready to put the lamp socket on. So what we're going to do is open that bag and pull out your lamp cord if you haven't done it already. Now notice in your box you also have the packages to be able to hang this as a pendant lamp. I'm showing you how to put it together with the base, and we're going to do the base next. But if you don't want to put a base on it, you can skip the next section of building the bottom box and actually just hang it as an upside down pendant lamp. So I'm going to do it this way. And the challenge is these are really long cords. And you want to go ahead and put the cord through here. Make sure you get it to slide through. It'll slide through nicely one direction and not the other. Keep going and going and going. Get through all of this lovely stuff. Forever and ever. And once you're done, you're going to end up with two little jut outs on the side of this, right here and right here. And those jut outs can go in to the holes on the bottom. And if you do that and you push it in really hard, it will just stay. And it'll be pretty hard to pull out. Now, if you're committed that this is where this is going to go and you know you're in good shape, then you can also do just a little bit of gluing. Super glue looks amazingly well on this, and I'm just going to put a little line of glue around the inside of my socket to get it a place to hold on. And I'm going to slip it in like this, flip it over, make sure I'm really lined up, push it down really good. And then I'm going to get an extra paper towel to wipe up any excess glue that I got around the outside. I got a little bit of extra glue here, but not very much. And now I have a perfect socket base, so I can use it to build my lamp base. Okay, now that we've got our lamp built, we want to be able to put the pieces on. And notice that you've got two pieces that have these little extra lips here. So we need to make sure we put those pieces in first. And I'm going to start with the back. That's the one with the hole in it. And we put it in and mount it just like we mount all of our screwed pieces by dropping our nut in the hole. If we are coordinated enough to do that, although I'm going to do it this way just to make my life easier. Notice you want to be parallel on those slots. Put it back in my base. And you are deciding which side is going to be the back of this top piece. If you did anything special there, which is unlikely, you make sure you know when you put this in what you've done. Put a little glue on my screw, stick it in the hole, and tighten this piece in first. So I get it nice and tight and straight and everything is working the way I want it to be. Now I want to go to the opposite side and find the other mandala shaped piece that has tabs on it, and we're going to put that one in the same way. Get that in, drop my little nut in the hole. It's all about getting those parallel. Put this in like this. Put a little glue on my screw. Now you could do this with Loctite if it makes you feel better. We use super glue for putting all of this together, but you can get Loctite thread locker and it will work just as well. It gives you a little more flexibility in taking things apart, but you shouldn't need to do that if you're building them in the right order. So now that we've got the base on, let's go ahead and feed the power cord through here. It'll fit perfectly through if you're square. A little room to spare, but be careful. And then you want to be careful pushing your on-off switch through too as well. Now the bases we've provided and the ones I'm using here don't dim. They're just on-off, and we've given you a 60-volt lamp. If you want a dimming base, you can go find a dimming base and use it instead. If you can find one the same size. These are from Jackie LED, and we got them on Amazon, so you should probably be able to find one. And then I'm ready to put on the next one. And notice that I've got single holes here for screw tops, and these have brackets on all four sides. So all I'm going to do is put that in the holes. I'm going to do a little bit of forcing here since I've tightened those two in already. Make it a little easier. Back these two up just a little bit. So I've got some wiggle room. That one goes in like this. This one goes in like this. I'm going to flip it over and do the same thing on the other side. Doesn't matter. They should be completely square, so they should work either way. Gently wiggle them until they're in place. Do a little popping and you've got all your holes in now. I'm going to go ahead and tighten these two back in. before the glue completely dries on me. Then we're going to come back and put our screws in the tops. Quite as easy to do now that I've got them in place here. If you've got a little pair of pliers, it kind of helps to get them lined up and make it a little easier to slide into the holes. But you can do it. I have great confidence that everybody is going to make amazing looking lamps. Slide that into my hole here. And put that in place on this side. And one more for this edge. Again, I've just got my hand in the back here to support it so I don't lose the screw through the hole. Perfect there. One more little drop of glue on my nut, on my screw. Don't get your screws and nuts mixed up. I'm going to put that screw through that nut. Tighten it in. Like so. And now we can go all the way around and do that. Repeat that same process on our sides. 2 of these. 1 here. Like so. Go through the side. Tighten that in place. Now, if you really want to, you can glue the edges of the boxes together as well. We don't think you need to, and we haven't been building this kind of boxes. So as long as you're getting your screws glued into place, they should hold together fairly nicely. But if it makes you feel better, go ahead and use glue on them and glue the edges together as well. Gluing the screws into place means they won't come loose, and you shouldn't have any problem with it. So let me do this side too next. Go ahead and flip it this way. Drop that screw in. Put a little tiny drop of glue right here. Screw into the hole, tighten it down, put a nut in here, put a drop of glue on this screw, put it into the hole like so. And we're good to go. Now, the next piece to do is the hardest bit. I apologize about that. One thing you could do is wait and put the bottom on until after, and put one of the sides on until after you had done this. But what we want to do next is we want to put these side screws in. So I'm going to do the same thing though. Put a little bit of glue here. If you have a pair of pliers, it's easier. Drop this in here like so. Get it lined up so you don't lose your screw. And then you can hold your screw and do this all the way around. Now, I cannot guarantee I will not lose a nut in this process and have to start over, but we're going to give it a try. This one I can actually stick my finger into. And that one will be much easier. Put the screws into the hole. The other way to do it is to build the box from the bottom first and then drop it on top. But then you have this same challenge of making sure you don't lose that set of nuts. So. Take your nuts. Now, if you drop one into the box, you can probably get it to come out the side hole. Or you can grab a spare nut from the spare kit screw set here. So I'm going to hold that here, stick this in, get this all lined up perfectly, drop it in, A little bit more. Let's get the screw started. Yay, that one I didn't lose. Hold on to it so it stays holding the lip of the box in place. That's what these nuts are for. They're for holding the box in place. And one more. Fingers crossed we can get one more to work. We'll go ahead and put a drop of glue here. Now, if you've been following along, great. If not, as soon as I'm done here, you can go ahead and pause the video and we'll come back and look at how to put the tops together. So, got that in. We'll screw this along in and tighten it. And there we go. We got our box bottom done. And now we're ready to get our sides put together. Okay, we're ready for the box sides. Let's move this out of the way. And grab our 4 sides that we've decorated. Make sure we've sanded them. We're going to use our 4 sides, our 4 wheels, our 4 little inside gears. And now you can open this package. And you should have 4 circles and 8 little wood U's. And we're going to follow the same process on all of them. So I'm going to do the first one for you. Flip your first gear over to the back. Take 2 of the U's and put them together like so. And then make sure this is sitting flat on the table, and you're going to push that in until you've got a nice little U stuck in place in that, a nice little X. And then you want to put some glue right in the corner on all of these. And what we're doing is getting us a nice set of glue to glue the top ring to this, as well as to get a little bit of glue in the holes to hold the X to that top ring. So we're putting 4 little bits of glue here. Take one of these little circular pieces and push it over the top and squeeze it together good. If you've got extra glue on the outside, you can wipe that off. Make sure that's nice and flat. This is going to be the front piece on these geared side pieces. So we want to make sure that looks really good. And make sure you don't have any extra glue that got out here on the outside edge, because we're going to set this around it and we want it to be able to spin. Now, we're going to take these gears and we want to glue this gear on. But rather than putting it all the way to height and gluing those 2 together where we wouldn't have any air gap, what we want to do is we want to go ahead and put glue on our little pieces here again, on the 4 pieces on the X all the way out. We want to make sure we get a good, decent amount of glue here, but don't go past the outside of the circle or you'll be unhappy. And what we want to do is we want to glue this down flat to the top of the X. So rather than trying to push it so that it's all the way against the other, you just want to push it flat to the top of the X. And even if you're a little bit up, you're probably okay here. See, you've got it just a hair up, but that's okay. I can loosely spin my wheel. And I'm going to wipe off that extra glue, and I have lots of space, and my wheel will spin very quickly. And now I'm going to repeat that 3 more times. So there's the first one. Take my gear. Build my U, glue those 4 little dots, jink, 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 glue my top circle on top of it like so, and push it together good. Wipe off any extra glue on the front, make sure that's nice and flat and glued together, which it wasn't. Nice and solid, all glued together. Put my back piece on here. Put extra glue here. All the way around. Take my inside gear and push it down till we're even with the top of this cross, making sure it's nice and flat and I can still spin nicely. So spinning as we go, there's 2. We'll go ahead and put number 3 together now. At this point, it hopefully is a little routine for you. Make your U, slide it in. Put the glue on it. Put your top circle on, push the two together, make sure it's all really strong and sturdy. See, I got some extra glue on the front that time. I was trying to stick it to the paper, and you definitely don't want that. Make sure it's nice. Drop your circle over it. Don't forget this step, because if you don't drop the side on and you put the back gear on, then you're going to be in a world of hurt. So now we can put our glue on for our back gear. Put the top gear on here, like so. See if I can get that to go in a little bit even. Make sure it will still spin loosely. Flip it over. Again, make sure I don't have extra glue anywhere sticking out, and we're still spinning nicely. And finally, the last one, gear, use, push it in. Now notice, we didn't decorate this because I don't want to get in the way of your creativity about decorating these. Hopefully you did something truly amazing. I will say, and we'll remind you back on the other video, hopefully you didn't use something truly flammable. We are going to get a little bit of heat here, so please be careful there. Find my other circle, drop my circle on here. Glue the whole thing together nicely. Wipe up the excess glue. Put the face of the side on. I'm fully expecting to hear from at least one of you that you have not done that. And let us know, and we can send you a replacement wooden piece if we know what you've mixed up. These are the kinds of things that hopefully nobody does. Put your gear back on it. Again, making sure it doesn't go past flat. So we've got lots of room for wiggle in our spinning. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4 sides that all spin nicely, and I'm ready to put my lamp together. All right, now that we're ready, let's put the lamp itself together. So we're going to put this in our middle, get these sides out of the way. And you'll notice when you look at this that one side of these 4 is not like the others. That's the one that has the screw coming up from the bottom. So to put that one in, we're going to put that side on here and pick that one first. So find the side with the nut spacing first. We want to use it first. I'm going to do the same thing we did before. We're going to pick our nut, put our nut in here, get one of our little bits of screws, put a little dot of glue on our screw head. Try not to make a mess when we do it. And I am enough of a klutz that if I can do this, you can do it. I'm doing this on the outside edge again. So slide that in, put my screw in place like so. And now we've successfully put that side on. And we're going to repeat that process on the other 4 sides. All right, we're now ready to finish putting the sides on our lamps. We're going to find one of the pieces that does not have bump outs on the corner here. Make sure you've got the side with a hole for the nut. And you're going to slip that side here like so and match it in here. We're now ready to put our nut in the hole, which in some ways is easier to do sideways than it is vertically. Slide it in. Maybe. Keep your finger there to balance it so you don't lose it. Add a little glue to a screw. Drop that screw in the hole here. Make sure your nut's in the right place to screw it together. And screw that one into place. And now we're going to repeat the process on the next side. This time we want a side that does stick out a little bit. So we want to find the little hole here and the stick out piece here. And we're going to drop this one right here. And notice we want to make sure our sides all still mesh once we've done that. Drop our nut in this side here. Ever so carefully, like so. Do that before I put the side in and make it a little easier. Feel coordinated enough to do that. Try it one more time. Put the side on. Get this out of the way so that doesn't bounce. Slip my nut into the hole. Put a drop of glue on the screw. And put that in the hole like so. Get it started. And use my screwdriver to tighten it up. And we've got one last slide to do. Now, notice that I've got a hole, don't have a hole on this end, and I do have a hole on this end. If you get to the point you think you're losing your mind, we're not going to put holes across the top because we just want to set the top on. And now, when we get this last wheel in, we need to make sure that my gears all align and everything is smooth and spins. So slide that all together like so. I'm going to slide my hand all the way into that hole to protect it. Again, make sure that's not going anywhere. A little glue on your screw. Drop your screw in the hole and get things started. Oops, one more try. Put one more drop of glue on my screw. Make sure it didn't all come off on me. Push this back in a little bit. Drop that in. Get it started. And I've now got the four sides on, but I haven't screwed them together yet. So we need to do one more thing and screw them together. We're going to do that exact same thing, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 screws left to do that with. So put this in here. Put a little glue on the top. Put this in. Screw it together. And repeat that process on the other four sides. All right, now we're going to go the rest of the way around and finish putting our screws in. Drop your screw in from the top, your nut in from the top, add a little bit of glue, drop it in the hole. And as you tighten these together, you want to make sure that the teeth align so your gears will pull together nicely. Another nut here at the top. Slide it down here so you can see. Another little bit of glue. Put the screw in like so. Get it started, and we're pulling the whole thing together and attaching the gears. I'll rotate it again. And I'm going to do these by flipping it this way so I'm on the top again just to make it easier for me. Do that here. Screw in this way, a little bit of glue on the screw. Try not to lose your nut, but if you do, you know how to fix it. They're easy to pick back up. Get it started. Tighten it in. Do this other one up at the top here. Two more screws to do on the other side now. Let me flip this around and do this side. Drop that in. I'm very right-handed, but you can turn this and easily do it the other direction. That in there. Slide my arm all the way down in here. Drop that in there. Put one last bit of glue on this last screw. Slide it into this hole. Tighten that hole down. Make sure you get that down nice and flat too, because you don't want it to be popping out vertically either. Tighten it a little bit, come back down here. Tighten it some more. And now we have our piece all together. And I can spin it. Okay, so now that we got the whole thing built, the gears are spinning, everything is perfect, we want to do two more things. First, we're going to put the bottoms, put the feet on the bottom so these poor little screws don't scratch your table. We can do that really easily by putting on 4 drops of glue in the 4 little circles on the base. And peeling these and sticking them on the bottom. Now the reason we use glue is because the self-sticky sometimes comes off, and we certainly wouldn't want that to happen. So peeling them off the plastic base and sticking them on our lamp. And now when I flip it over, it's nice and stable. And then we're going to plug the light bulb into the socket. So open your light bulb box right here. It's a pretty Edison bulb. Again, these are 60 watt. If you're worried about heat, you can go down and get a 40 watt or an LED base. These are E26 bases, which is kind of the standard American light bulb size. So that shouldn't be a problem. You need to tighten it in tight enough that it goes. Vanna, will you please plug me in and turn on the lamp? And once we've done that and flipped on the switch, we have light. Yay! Finally, you can set your bottom on the box, or top on the box, just by sliding it in. It needs a little bit of popping to go. And you can just pop it into the top like so. And like so. And you have the perfect lamp. And congratulations, let us know what you did with your lamp. We're excited to see what you've done. Thanks.